Hi folks, it's John Nizman from lastchanceautorestore.com. I'd like to share with you an update. We gave you a little bit of a teaser the other day when we had this car on a long haul in the trailer. We've now unloaded it from the trailer. We'll be bringing it into the shop and doing a thorough inspection on it. So this is a 1968 Volkswagen Beetle is what it started its life as. And then it has a custom chassis, and there's lots of nice touches. They've done some billet front bumperettes on it. It's painted Hugger orange, and it's a base clear paint job. We'll just kind of briefly walk around it, and then we'll lift the hood. It's got the aftermarket copy of the Porsche wheel. Now it's missing the center cap, so we've ordered those. Has custom running boards down the side, and then it looks like most of the trim is new, and new mirror and so on. And then we just have to basically go through it because we're noticing some things already just taking it out of the trailer. You'll notice the door here, it's sagging. So as soon as we go to open the door, it's wanting to scrub and hit the bodywork. So we've got to be careful when we open. It's been doing it for a while because you can see the weather stripping. I think the camera can probably pick that up. The weather stripping has been rubbing and rubbing up on this section. So there's some play in the door and the hinge area. So we're going to have to take a look at that to see, because basically we look at fit and alignment, and we basically have to raise the door up. And I don't know if I'm going to be in the way, but I've got to raise the door to shut it properly. So once it's latched, the latch and striker mechanism is in the right location, but when you go to open the door, see how much it's dropping down. So we'll have to address that issue to see what's going on. I'm sure there'll be many others. So inside it's very much more of a high performance type of vehicle. So you can see they've done an aftermarket cover. This is an actual plastic or fiberglass cover that you can buy that goes over top of the original dash, and then it gives you the option for gauges as they've set them in. So we have the original Volkswagen speedometer and odometer, and then we just have an aftermarket, nice odometer aftermarket gauge set, and then we've got toggle switches for a lot of the accessories. We've got genuine Kirky racing seats. They've installed a roll bar, and then we've got all kinds of stuff going on in the back. So this engine, believe it or not, instead of being a 4-cylinder air-cooled, we'll share with you in an upcoming video. In behind all of that beautiful metal work they've done and had it powder coated, when you remove all of that, it's kind of mind-blowing, I guess. It's a VR6 fuel injected engine that's been installed in there with a 5-speed manual transmission. So a lot of upgrades. It has a turbocharger and an intercooled water and air cooled. So there's a lot of extensive work has been done in terms of upgrades. So you can see a lot of nice touches. You can see the door panels. They're the stock normal aftermarket door panel. The upgraded door panels aren't just this aspenite, they're a better material. You'll notice there's no mat pocket, so it's just the entry level, but it's nice and clean. So as we come along the back, you can see the adjustment. There's very, very little clearance in here, and the fender and tire, I can barely fit my finger in there, so we'll just have to see if there is enough height and clearance, because basically the car was built, it had a couple of just dry runs, and that was in New York State, and here in Ontario, Canada, our safety standards, as I mentioned in the previous video, are different, so we'll have to make sure that everything complies to the safety standards. In the back, it's kind of a different design. You see this a lot in the Volkswagen aftermarket world. People will modify these rear aprons, and you can see this is basically shimmed and pinned out. I don't really like the location of the radiator because we've got the rad sitting right up on the very top, and it appears with everything being closed in and with the radiator being across here, it seems like it's going to be an issue with heat. So we'll probably look at a plan of probably relocating the radiator properly in the front and the lower section. So that's something we'll kind of deal with the customer. You can see the exhaust, we've just got a single little pipe there coming out the middle, which is a nice touch instead of having the two. You can see the fenders are considerably wider. They're over 1.5 the width, almost double. of what the fender would be because of these really nice wheels that they've got set up. And when you come along this side, you can see they have the aftermarket hinged quarter glass windows, which is a nice touch. And then we go to open this door. It's not quite as bad as the driver's door, but it still needs to be looked at also. Because with this closed, the alignment's fairly decent coming around. It's a little bit of a gap at the bottom, but when we go to open this door, if the camera looks at this section here, when I take it from the striker, you can see once again it's extremely close to touching the bodywork. So if we lift the door up, it comes back up, but then it's almost hitting again. So there's lots of things that could be going on with the door. We'll have to figure all that out. Then we have just minor little things. You can see the trim along the sides here. You see where the trim is all pulling away from the clips. But those are just minor detail things. It's more of a safety-oriented thing. It has a computer that's been installed, and the system, when it's cold, being fuel injection, it's not running as well as it should. So we'll check the tuning and how it's been set up. But it's a very attractive looking car. So it started its life once again as a 68 Volkswagen Beetle with substantial upgrades. We've got some Willwood brakes and all of those kind of upgrades. So I thank you for watching. I'm John from lastchanceautorestore.com.